Wizard World, Philly.
Morning.
Ooh.
Hi, everybody.
Are there any Arrow fans in here? It's hard to see. All right, well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, have you got to enjoy the con at all, or did you get to see anything?
I see a lot of things at cons.
See a lot.
No, I've been enjoying Philadelphia. I mean, it's my second time here. Can't believe that I've never spent time in this city, but yeah, got to hang out with some friends last night and celebrate the movie coming out, and I assume everyone's leaving the panel and going directly to see a matinee of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? No, seriously, please.
Yeah, were you about the Turtles? Were you a fan always before the movie? Or...
I was a fan before the movie. I mean, the live action movies hit me when I was in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade. So, and I've said this like 8,000 times now because I've been on a press tour for the past month, but we would all go and watch the movies, and then we would all come back to someone's house and eat cheese pizza until somebody barfed.
Yes, you did.
Exactly, that's right.
I have to ask, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Michelangelo. So Michelangelo is my favorite because he was my favorite when I was a kid, and according to Megan Fox, I am most like Leonardo, right? And I actually took the turtle quiz and I got Leonardo. I would like Donatello to be my best friend if I had a choice. And sometimes when I'm around my daughter, I become Raphael.
Wow. So this is very much a part of your life.
Thank you. That, by the way, they're you know what they said all for? Violence.
So let's talk a little bit about, congratulations on another amazing season of Arrow. Awesome finale. I think one of the themes that we've seen in Arrow since the beginning, but that was very prevalent in the second half of the season, was Oliver really trying to come to grips with what kind of hero and man he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think going into the next season we're going to see him trying to be a different type of hero for the city?
Well, I think that he's always been a very extreme individual in terms of, in season 1, he just murdered people with reckless abandon, and then going forward, he made this decision to not kill, period, forever. And that decision put him in a tricky place a bunch of different times. So I think that if everything was always black and white with him, that there are certainly going to be shades of gray this year.
Okay.
Which is more interesting.
Yes, definitely. We have 2 microphones in the aisles here. Do we have people lined up?
We do, they're just sitting down right now.
We do, okay, yeah, so let's kick it off to the audience. We just ask one question per person so we can get to as many of you as possible, and of course, you know, no selfies, signing of babies, you know, all of the basics.
So what?
No signing of babies, you know?
I'll sign a baby.
You'll sign up, oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's go over here.
Hi. I wanted to ask, with the way that season 4 ended, Oliver seems to be on his way to Russia. Are we finally going to get a look at Oliver's past with the Bratva?
Yes. No. No, and this is actually true. Typically, by now, I would have gone to the writer's room and we would have had long, lengthy discussions about the upcoming season. But I wrapped Arrow. I had a really nice end-of-season dinner with Greg Berlanti, which is what I always do. We chat about the good, the bad, the ugly, what's coming, what's happened, et cetera, et cetera. But we had that, and then I literally haven't been home since the beginning of May on the Turtles press tour. So I have a meeting with the writing team on Wednesday, and even if I had it this past Wednesday, I actually still couldn't tell you anything, but I'm gonna get the full download next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited for the Russia stuff.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Is there anything you can tell us about maybe
No.
what kind of characters, heroes or villains from the comics or anything that maybe we're going to be able to see?
We are introducing another vigilante from the DC universe next season, and our villain is going to, in a lot of ways, be a callback to season 1, and that's something that you can do when you're in season 5. And I think that the villain that we have coming in is really going to ground the show and take us back to some of the elements that we had in the earlier days before we introduced so many fantastical elements to the Arrowverse, as it were.
Got it. Okay, let's
I
go
always
over
give too much away.
over here.
Hi,
Hey.
my name is Paige, and I'm curious how you felt about Black Canary's death on the show.
Terrible. I don't like it at all. I mean, from just a standpoint from a personal standpoint, Katie Cassidy's a really good friend of mine, and she was here last year, and we got to hang out in Philadelphia, and she was the first cast member that I met when I went to Vancouver to shoot the pilot. And when you work with someone for that long, and they're no longer on the show, it really feels in a certain way like they actually die a little bit. She didn't. She's alive. But it was a tough call. It was a tough decision. I'm not the one that made it, and I'm not trying to throw the people who made it under the bus, but this is the nature of television sometimes. Shows go on. Some characters make it, some characters don't. It sucked, though.
That scene was so raw. Everyone's emotions.
What, you mean when I
it
made the
was-
ugly cry face in the middle of the scene? By the way, that's not scripted at all. I mean, this has happened twice on the show where scenes where Oliver is not supposed to cry, I have cried because I'm actually sad in real life. It happened with Susanna Thompson during her last scene where Oliver finds out that this girl, we don't know her name, Samantha, it turns out, has quote-unquote lost the baby, right? That scene was scripted that Oliver was like, she lost the baby, woo! And it came out, she lost the baby, and then I started crying because it was my last scene with Susanna Thompson. I was really sad. Same thing happened with Katie. I totally made an ugly cry face, and they definitely put it on TV.
That's all right. It made it all the better, I think. Let's go over here to another question.
Okay, so since Oliver is now mayor of Star City, what would you like to see for him to do as the mayor?
Make Star City great again? No, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Free pizza for everyone.
What I'm very excited for, and what a big part of the Arrow canon is that, Green Arrow from its inception point has always been a very political character. And I think that, as a show, at the risk of offending some people, we should really discover what Oliver's political ideology is. We should really make Green Arrow someone that is an advocate for the people. He was always a very liberal superhero, and it would be nice, regardless of his political ideology, to lean into it a little bit, not be afraid to offend some people, and really see what he stands for. So I think as mayor, I've always loved the idea of Oliver Queen as a public persona within Star City, but that's not really something that we've had to been able to tackle. I mean, he was obviously running Queen Consolidated in season 2, and it wasn't until the end of this season when, he hopped on a car and gets to do a speech that, we really got to see him as a man of the people within Star City. So, hope we get to see more of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Let's go over here.
There have been so many crossovers in the universe, and there has been a Flash and Supergirl crossover. Could we be seeing an Arrow and Supergirl crossover?
I think what we'll end up seeing is one giant 4-night crossover. No, seriously. How we end up doing that? I don't know. But this is really this is kind of an unprecedented moment in terms of like the history of network television, to have 4 shows, same showrunner. Obviously, Supergirl is in a little bit of a different universe, but we can fix that. That's one line of dialogue, and it's all fixed. So I would suspect that Oliver will be meeting Supergirl at some point.
Who do you think, with that crossover, what dynamic would Oliver like to have? Like, who would he have the most fun with?
All I want to see is Supergirl fly, and then David Ramsey's reaction to it. That's really all I want to see.
Yeah.
And I'm still mad that I haven't shared a scene with Victor Garber yet. So as long as that ends up happening, I'll be good.
You'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over here.
Hi.
Hey.
It's nice to finally see you again. I'm such a huge fan of the show, and I'm a nanny, and I finally convinced the kids to watch your show, and they love it.
Kids are 4 and 6, by the way. Super violent show. Good decision.
They're 13 and 15.
Okay.
They love you so much, but they couldn't be here, so I was wondering if you could give them a shout out.
Absolutely. What are their names?
Daniel and Eliza.
Daniel and Eliza?
Yes.
Well, hello to them.
Thank you.
I hope you were recording.
Thank you.
Okay, over here.
Hi, first off, it's my birthday, so I'm really glad to be able to be here to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Gonna do this quick. I was also really lucky enough earlier this week to get an advanced screening to see Turtles, and
So you didn't pay for a ticket?
I'm going back. That's how much I loved it. So let's, No, but I loved how kid-friendly it was, even with all of the action. So I was wondering, is that something, especially having your little girl, that's something you're gonna look more into? So things that are be more friendly for her to be able to see you in?
Well, I mean, I always want her to be able to enjoy what I do for a living, and I think that that's true of any vocation, not just acting. Hopefully I get to a point in my career where I'm really able to curate and decide what I want to do.
Right.
I had to audition for Turtles just like I had to audition for Arrow. I didn't set out to play 2 vigilantes in separate universes with no superpowers. That's just how it worked out. But I would love to do stuff that she would really enjoy, whether that's voicing something in an animated movie, or just doing a straight up kids movie, or doing like a hard R sci-fi film where I murder a bunch of people. As long as she can enjoy it and know that it's make-believe, I'm good with that.
I also just want to say thank you, because last year you kind of took my phone and talked to my sister who has epilepsy and wasn't able to come here. And like when she has seizures, there's a lot of times we don't really get her back. But like one of the few things that she always is quick to remember is you. And so I just wanted to say just how much you mean to my sister.
It's wonderful.
Hi, so I wondered if you got stranded on We On You in real life.
Dead in a week.
That was my question, so yeah.
I'm not a good camper. Not a good camper. I only like camping, this is an old joke from The Tonight Show, but I only like camping if it's catered. And there's a mattress and a pillow.
So glamping is where you're staying.
Yeah, is that a word?
Yes, glamping.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do that either. Like staying in hotels. No, if I got stranded on Lee and you, I'd be dead in a week, probably.
So you wouldn't be making any arrows or anything?
No, I mean, maybe a month. Maybe a month, but definitely not longer than that. I'm not as skilled. I'm an actor, for God's sake. Thank you very much.
Over here.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How you doing?
Great, I'm wonderful, thank you. My question is, obviously the show is very dramatic. So I was just wondering, because it's no stranger to comedy as well, so I was just wondering how you guys keep the spark of comedy running through, like just as actors and throughout the show.
Well, I really think that a lot of comedy on set springs from the actual relationships that you have with the other actors. I mean, I'm very good friends with everyone on the cast, and it's important with the amount of time that we spend together, which is way too much. Like, I've spent way too much time with David Ramsey. Way too much. We have stupid inside jokes and we make each other laugh, and I really think that it is important, even when there is a lot of drama on a show, to eventually have a wink and a nod, not directly to camera, but you know, it is a television show and it's important to have fun, and I think that good comedy springs from good interpersonal relationships and good writing, but mostly the former.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Who pulls the most pranks on set?
What a happy person. Barrowman.
Barrowman? What has he done to you?
What has he done to me?
What hasn't he?
Kids, cover your ears! No, just, there's nothing in particular, like there's no like prank, like, you know, all of a sudden I show up one day, my pants are 8 sizes too big or something like that. But we always have fun with one another, and again, inside jokes spring up, and I love John, so John and I just have a good time.
Awesome.
Everyone loves John.
Everyone does love John. Question over here.
Hi, I'm an actress, so I'm really happy to be here. So my question was, would you go to the lengths that Oliver did to protect your city?
That's a good question. Meaning murder? Probably. I don't really have a city. I mean, I grew up in Toronto, and thanks. I grew up in Toronto, but now Los Angeles feels like home. I definitely wouldn't go to the lengths that Oliver would go to, but I'd go almost all the way there. I love LA. I love LA. It's a bad rap sometimes. Thank you.
Question over here.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I was wondering, if you didn't audition for Oliver Queen, who would you have wanted to audition for and why?
Within the Arrow show?
Yes.
I would say either Malcolm Merlin or Slade Wilson. I love villains. Villains are my jam. Anytime I was like, what other superhero do you want to play? I'm like, I'm good with 2. I'd like to play the Riddler, because I love villains, right? So, just find me a villain within the Arrowverse, and that would have been my choice after Oliver.
Thank you.
We're full up on Jokers, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, question over here.
So I was wondering if you ever laughed when you were trying to say diggle, and why did they name it?
John Diggle is named after Andy Diggle, which was a contributing writer on Green Arrow Year 1. Or possibly a contributing artist. Oh my God, I should know this. Writer, thank you. Just go with your instincts. So that's where the name Diggle came from, and I laugh when I say it all the time. Diggle, diggle, diggle. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, over here.
Did you know karate before the show, or did you have to learn it for the show?
No, I didn't even know archery before the show. It's a true story. I had to learn everything, and I wouldn't say that I'm the most skilled at karate, but in terms of a martial art, I really think that the art of fighting on screen and fighting in front of the camera is something that you have to learn, because depending on where the camera is, that's how you might throw a fake punch where you have to circle out really wide and come, or you have to go really deep by the face. So I've become relatively skilled at knowing, based on the position of the camera, how to do a convincing fight on screen where you're not actually punching someone in the face.
How many accidents have happened on set? Stunt.
No accidents. I mean, we've had a guy take a pretty nasty spill on a bike. I banged my leg pretty hard during a training sequence in season 1. And I dropped Katie Cassidy on the ground once. It's in the blooper reel for season 1. But no, we've been very fortunate not to have any big time accidents.
Good. Okay, let's go over here.
Hi, my name is Destiny. And over time, Oliver has grown, and because when he got off the island, he was very isolated, and over time, he has grown to let people in. And so, my question is, have you grown with him? Have you taken his traits into your own personal life? Like, have you grown with him?
Well, my life is very different from being cast on the show to right now. I mean, when I was cast, I was dating someone who is now my wife, and I didn't have any kids, and now I have a 2.5-year-old. So, it's been done before, but thank you. So, obviously I've changed, and, I used to define success within acting as the number of days that I could work in a year. Because when you're an actor that doesn't have a job, that's a lot of sitting around, it's a lot of auditioning. So actually getting a job and working, that was how I defined success, and I think it was actually a relatively good model. Now, it's rare that I have a day off. Like, I've been on this press tour for Turtles coming immediately off of season 4, which came immediately off of filming Turtles, which came immediately off of season 3. So, as of Monday, for about 4 weeks, you are not going to see me, hear from me. There will be no tweets, no snaps, no books, nothing. I've obviously grown with that. I've grown because since I've been cast as Oliver Queen, I've got to do, between all the crossovers, probably close to 100 episodes of television and a big feature film. So I've gotten a lot of reps since then, and that has definitely helped me grow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go over here.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm wondering why you didn't decide to do the Blue Mountain State movie.
I wasn't asked.
Really? That's so sad.
First of all, I would have happily done it, and obviously Alan Richardson, who's plays Raphael, and plays, it's Thad, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say Chad. Trust your instincts. He and I were talking, and he's like, yeah, man, that would have been cool, but it just didn't work out for whatever reason. Super cool that those guys did that, though, to wrestle away that IP and to crowdfund the movie and to make it successful and to hit #1 on iTunes. That's a big deal. Good for them.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, over here.
Hi.
Hey, man.
My name is Max. And I was wondering, if they ever make a movie, if you were of Green Arrow, if you weren't playing him, who would you choose to play him?
It's like, if you couldn't go to dinner with your wife, what hot guy would you want to go to dinner with your wife?
Can you answer that question too?
If I wasn't playing Green Arrow, who do you think would be good to play Green Arrow? As long as I got to be in the Supernatural movie playing his role, that's fine. And as for dinner with my wife, I'm going to choose John Barrowman for reasons that should be obvious. Again, as long as I got to then go out with Scott. Scott's his husband.
That's gonna be all over Twitter.
It should be. Scott's handsome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks.
Super uncomfortable.
Let's go over here.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
My whole family thinks your show is great. I have a couple kids that are thinking about being actors as they get older.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to them now for when they get older?
Well, a couple of things. One, in this day and age, there's really no excuse for not producing your own content all the time. Everyone has an iPhone, everyone has a laptop, YouTube accounts are free. Make your own stuff and do it all the time. It's the best way to get reps and get better. Find a good acting coach, teacher that you like. There's no secret sauce and formula. It's gonna work for everyone differently. And the biggest thing for me is that if you're gonna get into any vocation that's the arts, you really can't think about equating success with financial success, because the tether is so long. You know what I mean? I've been very fortunate to get on a TV show, which is a relatively well-paying job. But you know, I know incredible actors who do theater and don't make a ton of cash. So you just have to make sure that you're in it because you love it. And I mean that's really true of any occupation. I think that if it's something that you enjoy, you'll be successful one way or the other.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Great. Let's go over here.
Hi.
Hi, Steven.
How are you?
This has made my Comic-Con seeing you. Question is...
Not Haley?
She's at 5:15.
You're going to say the same thing to her, okay?
My question is, do you think Felicity and Oliver will ever get married?
I don't... I don't know. I know that it was important. I thought especially at the end of season 4 with everything that happened, and obviously with Laurel Lance's death, that their relationship be put on the back burner, because I think that there were more pressing issues, obviously. So I don't know what's gonna happen in season 5. I do know that I don't believe that they begin season 5 together. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Thank you.
Thank
Love you.
Thank you.
Do you think her decision to walk away, do you think that was justified, or do you think maybe there was something else, maybe some couples counseling she sort of suggested first, or?
Well, that would have been a fun scene. Oliver, you're in the trust tree. Talk about your feelings. No, I felt like she was relatively quick to walk away, but I'm not gonna, fictional character, she's allowed to do it if she wants.
Got it, okay. Let's go over here.
Hi, Steven. I'm Becky. I love you. You're beautiful, and I love your show. But that's not what my question is. If you didn't get the role of TMNT2, what franchise or movie would you want to be in?
I've always been a massive fan of the Jason Bourne franchise. I think that that's some of the best, combat that you'll ever see. So, if they make 3-4 more Bourne movies, I'm totally ready for that. Totally ready. I love the Jason Bourne franchise. Fantastic.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, over here.
How you doing? You're so successful. I want to know the dark side. What was the most crushing role that you maybe thought you had before you became famous
Spartacus.
with Arrow? And what was it?
Spartacus.
And was there anything you could have felt like you could have done different to get that role? Thank you.
Well, when they decided to recast the role of Spartacus because Andy got sick and then ultimately passed away, that was a very early point in my career. I'd only had 1 or 2 American jobs, and I wish I would have been better during that screen test. I flew all the way to New Zealand. I got dressed up in the full Spartacus gear, which is ridiculous, by the way. There's a picture floating around somewhere. I wish I would have been better. Wish I would have had more command of the room. Wish I would have reached out and grabbed that one. Obviously, Liam got the part did a fantastic job, and I think that the decision to continue that show and to keep a whole network of cast and crew employed was a wise one. But that, I came back from New Zealand thinking that I was gonna play Spartacus, and didn't get it. Thank you.
Hi, Steven.
Hi.
My name is Noble, and my question to you
That's
is...
a nice name.
Thank you. My question to you is, what was your reaction when you were offered the role of Casey Jones in the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes!
franchise?
Well, you know what? I wasn't offered it. It was something that I had to pursue. They wanted me to go on tape. I had a bunch of meetings with the director and the producers at Platinum Dunes, and I refused to go on tape. First, because I had another movie offer that I had accepted because it came in before TMNT. And second, because I was convinced that it wasn't actually going to fit into my schedule because my hiatus is such a short window for Arrow. When we found out that it was going to work, I went on tape, did a chemistry read with Megan Fox, and then that Monday I got the call, having already signed a deal memo, being like, okay, we're going to do it. And I was fired up. I was really, really fired up. And then I had to go shoot the scene where Katrina Law and I get married. And look all sad. But yeah, that was a pretty cool call to get.
Yeah, when I found out that you were playing Casey Jones, he's my favorite in the whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ever. Like,
have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie yet.
Why?
Only because I've been here. I haven't gone, but I plan to go on Monday or Tuesday when I get home, I promise.
Thank you very much. I really hope you enjoy Casey Jones. I
will, because you're playing him, so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi, my name is Lizzie. It's my birthday, and my birthday we're here. I met you when we were snowed in at New Jersey. My question is, what was your favorite part of playing Casey Jones?
Just being able to have some fun. You know what I mean? I cracked more smiles in the first 20 minutes of TMNT than I did in 4 seasons on Arrow. Just, you know, I love both characters, but playing Oliver can be a bit of a drag sometimes because he's a sourpuss at best. So playing Casey and filming in New York City and doing stuff like thinking the turtles are aliens and that they're gonna eat me, that was a lot of fun. Plus I got to whip pint glasses at bottles of booze. Never do that. But that was fun too. So I think the best part about playing Casey Jones was just what an earnest, enthusiastic guy he is and how uplifting that was to play.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to see you again.
Thank you. Let's go over here.
Hi, Stephen. I'm hailing from Toronto. My name is Kate.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, you're my second favorite archer. My heart belongs to Hawkeye.
It's a slightly inferior Marvel version of my character, but
he has a dog.
Hawkeye's a good guy, and Jeremy's a good guy. We have some mutual friends.
My question.
By the way, I just also met Chris Evans for the first time. Disarmingly handsome. He was looking at me, but I felt like he was looking through me.
Okay, so my question is actually related to the project that you have going on with your cousin Robbie, Code 8. I was hoping we could get your opinions on the conception and working on the pilot and working on the story and getting Kickstarter campaign going.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, are there people here that contributed to the campaign? That's incredible. I mean, we had over 20,000 people backed this campaign. We wanted to raise $200,000. We raised 1.7 million, and that so that was good. And I'm very excited because, you know, when you work on a project like Arrow, or you work on a project like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it really is like literally hundreds of people that are creating something, and there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and that's one way to make things. And I think a nice counterpoint to that, because I would obviously never speak ill of the studio system. If you're watching out there, Paramount executives, Warner Brothers executives,
Let it be known.
I love you and thank you very much for all the opportunity. But every once in a while, you also have to do something that's very personal. Because I think that creating a personal project has the ability to have a universal appeal, because it really feels like someone's blood, sweat, and tears went into it. I feel like that's one of the reasons why a movie like Deadpool was so successful. Because that's a movie that Ryan Reynolds tried to get made for 10 years. They finally were like, yeah, fine, make it go away and do it yourself. And they made an awesome movie because they weren't catering to anyone. They were just making the Deadpool movie that they wanted to make. So with Code 8, we are gonna make the sci-fi, dystopian, futuristic film that we wanna make. And hopefully it's good.
So are we gonna actually see you in the movie?
Oh, I'm gonna be in the movie for sure.
Woohoo!
Absolutely. Fired up.
Thank you.
Hey, Stephen, I don't know if everybody knows what an incredible singer you are. Has everybody seen the YouTube videos?
Too many people have seen it.
No! We've discussed this. You are an incredible singer. I know you're very busy, but...
I appreciate that.
No, you are. So speaking of Barrowman, you
Fine,
mentioned
fine,
Victor...
I am.
You are, admit it. So you mentioned John Barrowman, Victor Garber, Grant Gustin. Now Marissa's part of the universe.
I can stop you right there. We're not doing a musical episode of Arrow.
Okay, if you're not
You know what? We will, but only if Oliver dies in Act 1. No one else can sing.
Come on, you hit the high note in Music of the Night. But at least you do so much for so many wonderful charities. How about at least, no, and it's wonderful. And everything that you've done for raising money for cancer and everything. What about a wonderful cast album for a charity? Wouldn't everybody love that? We all know
I'll tell you what I would agree to.
What would you agree to?
I would agree to a venue in Los Angeles or New York or Philadelphia, because why not? Where we literally do like a live musical Arrow Flash something performance.
Okay.
But we're not doing a musical episode. All the money can go to charity. It'll be me and John and Victor and Grant. Literally, the only problem is that I'm literally the worst singer of anyone on the show.
No, you're not.
We'll get Colton in. Oh my God, actually, this sounds like a reasonable idea.
Neil McDonough to come play harmonica.
We'll get Neil playing the harmonica just as a bass line. Neil will play the orchestra. It'll be fantastic.
You got Jesse. I mean, look at the amount of the range.
Okay, you're selling me something that I've already bought.
Somebody's starting a Kickstarter.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go over here.
Hey Steven, my name is Yara. In addition to Arrow, I am a huge fan of you on social media, like Twitter, Instagram. You make me crack up. And the fact that you've hit a home run at Rogers Center and you have an undefeated WWE record. Just wondering, what's next?
You know what? One of the great things about the career that I have at the moment is you just get to have fun opportunities, and I'm of the belief that you need to take advantage of them, right? So I would like to take batting practice again, and I'm not going to be totally satisfied until I have a singles match at some point in the WWE. It doesn't have to be, by the way, it doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. We can do like a local show at whatever what's the local arena here called? It's not the Spectrum anymore. I'm not calling you that. The Wells Fargo Arena. Also, it's the Sky Dome. Let's be clear. Yeah, I need to have a singles match in the WWE.
I got Sheamus!
Thank you. Sheamus would be a good one.
Yeah!
What a terrifying man.
The challenge is out there now.
Yeah, apparently.
I think we have time for just a couple more questions, so let's go here.
Hey, Steven. So I just wanted to
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
What is this cosplay?
You don't know.
That's why I asked.
Sailor Mercury!
It's Sailor Mercury.
Cool.
So I just wanted to talk about some of your earlier work. Maybe a show called Dante's Cove. Could you talk about how you went from the theatrical masterpiece that show sort of isn't to Arrow?
Well, a lot of time passed. Dante's Cove, for those that don't know, was like a gay soap opera. And I was a straight guy, which also made me the villain. And they invited me back for season 2, where my character Adam went immediately from straight to very, very gay. But I couldn't do it because I was doing another movie. So it has been a long road since Dante's Cove. But I'll tell you, all of those steps along the way, even for non-masterpieces such as that, are very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, one more quick question, last question.
Okay.
We can do 2 more.
2 more, okay.
All right. Well, I just have a quick comment. She's got a question. I just
Okay.
wanted to thank you, and I wanted to tell the room. I was with you in Jersey, and I had the little boy with the black eye.
Yeah.
And you were awesome to him all weekend long. And he still talks about that, and you were his hero, and he had superhero week at school and brought all the stuff, and he just...
Cool.
I wanted to thank you for that, because
You
that
are
was
most
really
welcome.
awesome. So...
Since we're both huge fans of Arrow and Supernatural, do you think that we'll ever see a crossover episode, and how do you think it would turn out?
I don't know how it would turn out, but I mean, it seems weird that I've spent so much time with Jared and Jensen now, and we've never actually done something together. So I'm all for things that people enjoy, and one of the reasons that we do crossovers with, you know, Flash and Legends and probably eventually Supergirl is because Greg Berlanti always says, you know, when my favorite characters from one show would show up on one of my other favorite shows, like, that was something that excited me. So, I don't know how it would go. I've seen the fan fiction, like, I have a full Arrow Supernatural crossover. It's legit.
Sometimes those go to some crazy places.
Yeah, most fan fiction involves me and Diggle doing stuff that I can't talk about. But,
There's some of you and Jensen, too.
I don't, yeah, oh my God. But no, that'd be really fun. I don't know how it would go, though. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, last question.
Hey, man.
Hey. First of all, I had talked my 74-year-old mother out of come down last night and try and find you at the Marriott bar across the street. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I wasn't there.
She was hoping that you would have been there. And my other question is not really an Arrow question. Tim Hortons, what's your replacement now that you're not living in Toronto anymore?
My coffee replacement?
Coffee replacement. What comes close to Tim
I mean, my
Hortons?
buddy and I run a winery where we literally make our own coffee. So that's a decent replacement. And then, you know, Starbucks, it's eventually going to come out that there's an addictive property to their coffee that they're not telling anyone about. I enjoy Starbucks coffee.
Okay. So it's close to Tim Hortons, but not good?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
I know that that's like an anti-Canadian thing to say, but Tim Hortons coffee... one more. We can do one more. Hey, man.
Hey, Steven. It's nice to see you again, brother.
Nice to see you, too.
My
Saw you
question...
on Thursday, right?
Yeah, I've been here all week.
Yeah, so have I.
My question is, what is your favorite superhero? And if it is the Green Arrow, how does it feel to play your favorite superhero?
It's not the, you know, I wasn't that familiar with the Green Arrow. One of the best parts about playing the Green Arrow is that he's not one of the bigger properties and characters within the DC universe, but there are people who Green Arrow is their favorite. So to do a show and to be a custodian for that character, for a time, is really one of the best parts of playing him. You see my fellow Arrow there. For me, it was always Superman growing up. Like the Christopher Reeves movies, they hit me right at the right time, so it's always been Superman.
That's awesome, man.
And we'll end with the Arrow.
Awesome. My first ever Comic-Con. I'm glad to be here. Steven, you've been amazing with fans. You show a lot of love to the fans, even the crazy ones that post on Facebook. I just want to know, as a guy dressed in full leather, asking you a question about crazy fans. What's been like the craziest fan experience, or just somebody who's just kind of like, yeah, this guy's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
I wouldn't say anything that's crazy. I think certain things that happen are weird, but I think that weird is pretty awesome. So every once in a while at a con, and this actually happened yesterday with two girls, I signed something for them, and then they get that tattooed, right? They're right there. And I'm always just like, because I don't have any tattoos, so I'm always like, wow. Right? So it's really cool, but you know what? Whether someone is if I could end on this would be great, is I was talking the other day, I was being interviewed by Larry King, and it got spun a little bit that essentially what I said is that there are a lot of passionate Arrow fans, and I think that a passionate fandom is great, and whether that passion leads to positivity or negativity, that's perfectly fine. If you love the show, tremendous. If you hate the show, tremendous. As long as you're not indifferent, I'm totally fine. And I appreciate reasonable criticism, or even unreasonable criticism, because someone is taking the time. But every once in a while, if that bleeds into someone who's upset about the direction of a show and attacks a fictional character and then the real person who plays them, that to me means that you're not a real fan. That to me, if you can't separate the person playing a role from the fictional character, unless the real person is a dick, and then you can do whatever you want. But to me, that's a weird aspect of fandom that I don't totally understand, and doesn't mean anything to me one way or another if someone who's going to attack a real person, a friend of mine, if they're a fan of the show or not a fan of the show, I'm indifferent to that. So I just think that ultimately, being a fan and being passionate is incredibly important. But gotta remember it's a TV show sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It was relatively long-winded, but whatever.
Moral of the story, be kind.
Be kind, yeah, have a good time.
That's what fandom's about.
Be good to one another.
Right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Speaking of which, Philadelphia, you guys treat me so great. Thank you everyone very much.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on Amazon, eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.